A lot of times you are forced with the decision of working for your employer. They have a large established brand and you are using your skills and talents to build this brand, and you are building it on your back with all of these achievements, awards, research, just highlights of your own career that gets rolled all the way up into a much bigger brand. And what are you left with when you leave that bigger brand? Nada. We're going to tell you how to not get stuck like that by building your own brand in this episode.
Welcome to the Licensed to Live show, where professionals, doctors, champions, VIPs, attorneys, and those in public office discover strategies that help you restart and gain what is lost when you find yourself accused. If another has doubted your integrity, questioned your credentials, or caused your actions to come under scrutiny, you are in the right place. On the other hand, if you have never felt the knot in the pit of your stomach when legal papers are served, the heartbreak of disappointing your family when the lock clicks shut on handcuffs, or had to appear before a board of review, then be aware, the longer you serve, the more likely you are to find yourself under the microscope of those who judge. Prepare yourself for this uncomfortable possibility. Now, here's your host, Dr. Jarrett Patton.
Welcome to episode 122 of License to Live. My name is Dr. Jarrett Patton, and I am your host for our journey together today and every day you choose to listen to this show. If you or anyone you know has been dissed in their career, please invite them to join us along this journey. All I ask of you is to subscribe and tell a friend about this episode because they may be stuck too and looking how to build their brand. And you guys have been listening to this show for a while, fire starters, so you know what I mean by disrespected, displaced, disgruntled, disenfranchised. If any of these things apply to you, this is your calling to get a change on your life and career. And today, we're going to be talking about building your brand and how you can build your brand to be the next biggest thing, maybe even since sliced bread. We'll get to that right after we finish thanking our sponsors. Hey, this is Dr. Jarrett Patton. Do you need more positivity in your life? No matter what part of your life you want to transform, positive affirmations can help you achieve your goals. But sometimes making permanent changes can be difficult. Designed with you in mind, License to Live. Daily affirmations to rebuild your life will inspire and equip you to become the best version of yourself. License to Live. Daily affirmations to rebuild your life will set you on the path to changing your mindset, beliefs, speech, and ultimately your actions. You can change your life now by getting your copy at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, your finer book retails, or licensedtolive.com. That's licensedtolive.com.
Something smells good. EH3 coffee. EH3 coffee. Premium organic. Nothing better than waking up. EH3 in your cup. Premium organic. EH3 coffee. Nothing better than in the middle of your day. EH3 coffee. Premium organic. EH3 coffee.
This is Super Bowl champion Mike Logan, and you are listening to License to Live.
First things first, boy, oh boy, I can't tell you what a thrill it was to host License to Live, the conference. We had another successful event in Philadelphia where lives were changed, minds were changed, careers were changed, and people really had a good time getting back to some conferences and learning from each other. And in some of the upcoming episodes, you're going to hear bites and tidbits and, little special guest interviews, little quick hits that we did during the event. But man, you're just going to have to check my social media channels to see what was going on. And you can check all of my social media at not at License to Live. You can look up the hashtag License to Live and use anything that you want with that hashtag. But you find me at Dr. Jarrett. Spell out the word doctor, JA2RE1T. So basically, you guys, if you weren't there, you missed it. You better put it on your calendar for next year, because people keep coming to me and saying, I can't believe I missed it. I didn't think it was going to be like that. And you just miss another opportunity. But things come and they go. You have to get things while you can get them, when you can get them. So next time I start talking about License to Live, the conference, jump on, get your early bird ticket, get your VIP, and you won't be left out. Today, we are talking about building your brand. One of the biggest things that I realized when I left the academic and physician executive world, leading large hospital chains, is that your brand within an institution is great, and people know what your brand is. They can assign it, they can feel it, and they know it, and they call you to duty. I mean, after all, you're an employee there. And that's great. And in fact, you using your gifts and skills and expertise to help build this larger brand that you work for. I mean, many of you guys have been on grand round stages. Many people have been in front of TV cameras in order to spread a message to a community or about an organization. So you personally are using your personal brand to build this larger, massive brand that you work for. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's how it's done. But the issue becomes when you're no longer associated with that brand, what happens to you? And this is a lesson I learned the hard way, because I had lots of equity, a pretty big brand in a large 8-hospital system. And it was working just fine for me within that system. But you guys know my License to Live story and how I was catapulted out of that organization all of a sudden. And I was left with nothing. I was picking up scraps and pieces as I was clutching onto that picture that they ripped off the wall there of me and saying, well, here, let me take this picture. Let me just take it home with my box of belongings, have a picture under my arm in one hand and some boxes I was trying to balance in another. And that was the end of it. My brand was eliminated. In fact, they pretty much did what they could to get rid of all evidence of my impact on that institution. And well, that's in order to protect their brand, because my brand went south. And I want you to build your brand doing some of the simple things that I've done in the past and had to redo. And that first thing is talking about trust and building trust within your organization, which is one of the easiest ways to build your brand within that organization. But you need to build trust outside of that. So it's great to get the accolades within, but you really want to leave yourself to being able to touch people outside of that brand and continue to get that rolling. Trust is an essential core part of your personality. It may be one of your virtues, might be one of your values, maybe one of your operating procedures, because, well, trust helps build relationships. Trust helps make people feel at ease. Trust lets people know that you're going to get the job done. Trust lets people know that you're the one to do the job. And all of these things are important, and it fits within its own self within a larger organization. But you have to exude that trust outside. But it's okay to start building it within, because that will last you. for quite some time. And in fact, it was the trust that I built up in my community that helped me stand tall, even in times of dire situations that I've had to live through in my life. So building trust is one of these things that is inherent to most of us, but I don't want you to lose fact that this trust is going to help you help yourself build your brand inside an institution, especially, but even outside of an institution. Well, if you went to medical school, you didn't go to marketing school. And if you didn't go to marketing school, you probably don't know very much about marketing. Guess what? I knew nothing about marketing. In fact, early on in my career, all I wanted to do is be a doctor, see some patients, make some changes on a one-by-one basis. I had very, very small and short-sighted goals because I just wanted to make the people in front of me lives better day by day. And it was kids and families that I did this, whether the Smiths, the Joneses, the Henriquez's, the Johnsons, you name it, doesn't matter. I was there for them. And that's how I wanted to change the world one by one. And I didn't really see that it would be impossible to reach billions of people over my lifetime to be able to have a larger impact. But with time and leadership and good mentorship along the way, I knew that it was going to take more than leading one by one and gaining the trust of individuals singularly, individual by individual, family by family. And well, people would talk about you out there in the streets and they say, oh, your kid's having a problem. You need to go see Dr. Patton. Dr. Patton will fix your kid. He's nice. He's trustworthy. He's a great doctor. And it builds your clinical career. And that's what you want people to be talking about out there. You want other people to be talking about you, giving you those testimonials, giving that commercial on your behalf, simply so you can get and help others. I mean, honestly, it just works that easily. But the reality is, most people talk about the bad things that happen. They linger on the negativity. You know what episode 121 was about. It was about changing that stinking thinking. So go back, if you're having those negative thoughts, go back and change your stinking thinking and get rid of some of that negativity with those strategies. Get that trust in those individuals, and having them market for you is great. But let's face it, that happens so little. I can't tell you how many episodes, well, maybe as many as 122. That's where we are right now, where I ask people to write reviews and give me positive feedback. And they may have great intentions. You know what, Dr. Jarrett? Yes, I'm going to go give you a 5-star review on your podcast because it is changing me. But they never get around to it because it just doesn't rise to that importance. And that's where marketing is important. If you aren't marketing yourself, you don't have any marketing. You can't rely on Jane saying, oh, he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. You can't rely on Marlene saying, she is the most wonderful person. You must see her. You can't rely on that because that may happen too few and far between. You have to take the marketing of your brand in where you go. And so I'm going to give you one simple thing that you can do to market your brand so that more people see what you're doing. And it's really about telling people because, well, a lot of us are humble. A lot of us don't like to brag or even talk about ourselves very much. And believe me, folks, I may not be as extroverted and talking about myself as I seem to on my show in real life. It's something I've had to practice over time because I realize that if I'm not talking about some of the things that I'm doing, trying to help people, nobody is talking about those things. So you have to become more comfortable telling people what you are going to do, not trying. We're not adding that T word into our vocabulary. Remember that. Go back to episode 121. to know more about that. We are telling people what we are doing. So tell people where you plan to go. So if you're elected to speak at a high profile event somewhere, why not let people know when you know? Let them know ahead of time. Not only are you promoting the fact that you were selected to be in this spotlight, you are helping the promoters of that event help promote you, which is a collaborative relationship that you want to have with people. You help each other. And so if you can tell people where you are going as soon as you know where you are going, then let them know. And really, that's why I let people know ahead of time if I'm going to be coming to your city, like I'm going to be coming to Los Angeles soon. And then I will let people know when that time is coming. And then I might let them know I'm on my way. Then you absolutely have to tell people where you are. So if you are in the moment and you're maybe about to hit the stage, or you just finished hitting the stage, like I did when I was in Houston speaking at the Locums Doc conference, I let people know that I was going there, and I let people know that I was actually there. So I asked for an audience member to take a quick picture of me while I was standing up on stage, addressing the folks and giving my presentation. And then I could let people know this is what I am doing. And then finally, regarding the same thing, let them know that you did something. Let them know that you just finished going there and what a great time you have, what an impact, what some of your learnings may have been from this event or this process or anything else that you were doing. And let them know that you did it. You actually did it. You told them you were going to do it. You showed them that you were doing it and telling them that you did it. Because let's face it, in today's society, attention spans are super short. People aren't listening to you anyway, and you must tell people things time and time again. I know my wife would be the first one to say that, because she said, I just told you about this yesterday. I said, oh, I didn't look at my calendar. These are the things that come in the way of this. So marketing yourself is an important concept, and you can do it in a simple way. And it takes a little practice because you're not used to being this repetitive in your overall communication. But in today's environment, you must be repetitive. So tell them what you are going to do, tell them what you were doing, and then tell them what you did, even if it's the same thing. And that will market yourself to be someone that's a little bit different, and a person of action, and a person that is doing things. And that's what you want people to know. And this is a part of your brand that will live outside of your institution, because your other peers and colleagues will see you doing these things. And the next one is always a challenging one when we're talking about being bold and being different in a culture where everybody wants to be the same or just wants to barely rise above the top doing something slightly different. Nobody wants to take that branch and get way out there on that limb and do something. And I will get back to telling you how to be different, be bold, and to share your voice right after this message from our sponsor.
The time is now to refresh your career. We help doctors, lawyers, executives, and VIPs refresh and restart. Dr. Jarrett's coaching helps you build confidence, gain more credibility, develop more leadership skills, and gain clarity in your career path. Want to climb the executive ladder or branch out on your own? We'll put your career in overdrive. Visit drjarrett.com and sign up for your free strategy session.
I'm serious about this ad, guys. It's been running on Comcast for a number of months now, and I've been running it on my show too. And I am not a mentor for everyone, and everyone is not going to be a mentee for me, which is why I like to meet with individuals all the time before we engage in any kind of professional. I have to see where you are, where your head is, what kind of things are you doing, what kind of plan, what kind of dreams you have. And it's a conversation we have that it's actually enlightening on both sides, because you're going to be thinking about some things. I'm going to be thinking about some things. And even if we just have this 15 or 30-minute conversation on Zoom and we never work together again, there is some impact and some value you are going to get from this. So that's why I ask people to sign up for strategy sessions, because, well, I need to screen the people out who won't get good results from my programs. And I want people who have the drive and motivation to work and improve themselves to get the most out of my programs. So sign up for your strategy session today. Just go to timewithdrjarrett.com. Now, we are talking about being bold. We are talking about being different. And in a world where everything seems the same, I'm going to give you a couple of ideas to make yourself stand out, and something that has built my brand. And I know it can build your brand. So one of my favorite things is talking about writing books. Go check out my free video, Build Authorship to Build Your Credibility. It's there. I have the links in my show notes, I believe. And if not, I'll add them in there. But it's been kind of out there. And some of you guys click on this stuff. Some of you don't. But it is a valuable free tool for you to learn how to write your first book and get it done in a quick amount of time. And becoming an author is the first step of demonstrating your authority. And writing License to Live, a perimeter rebuilding your life after your career is shattered, is the biggest thing that changed my life. It changed my brand. And I've written several books since then, but I guess I caught the writing bug, and my publisher told me that I would get the writing bug once I wrote my first book. And I'm like, yeah, that's just all that talk. Yeah, several books later, I'm still writing and have a couple more in the works that at some point I'll be telling you guys about when we're a little bit further in the process. But there's some fun projects, and I'm excited about letting them out. But writing a book could be a way to share your voice and demonstrate that you are different than the others that are out there. But you could use the same strategy to build a podcast. And in fact, you might even build a podcast first and use the podcast to write your book. That's another simple trick that you can use. And I'd be happy to talk in more detail with you guys about that. But it may mean that you need to show your authority in different ways besides writing a book or podcast. You can use traditional media. That's something that I've done as well, by getting in magazines, getting in newspapers, getting on television, getting on radio stations, traditional media. I have also used non-traditional media by being on other people's podcasts, being on other people's social media video shows, being a guest writer for a blog, and those types of things are there. But you can also reach people through your social media channels. So now you don't just have to consume on social media. You look at some of these docs and other people that are really putting their lives out there. They're building their own brand through social media, even if they're just dancing, even if they're just showing pretty pictures. All of these things can change by giving your voice through social media, traditional media, non-traditional media, starting your podcast, writing a book, making your own television show. These things are possible in today's society. Do not let negative thoughts get in your way of making something positively change in your life. And this is what I want you guys to remember as you are moving forward. It takes some courage to be bold. It takes courage to be different. But let's face it, we're all different. We're all unique. We all have different gifts. And everybody listening to this show, that's why I'm saying we all are ready to serve. And you want to serve and a bigger purpose and a higher purpose. And that's why you listen to this show. And that's maybe why you even attend my conferences and the other events that I have planned for this year. Perhaps we can make something big happen just overnight. And you have to dream big. And that's what I want you to do, fire starters, so you remain licensed to live. Remember, fire starters, if you or anyone you know has been dissed in their career, please invite them to join us along this journey. Simply go to your favorite podcast player and hit subscribe so you get the most updated License to Live episode in your box every single time. And if you want to hang out in between episodes, check me out on LinkedIn, connect with me there. I'm interactive and engaging and having a lot of fun because, well, yes, I'm right with you. I'm still trying to build my brand as well. And I hope you start building yours today. See you next time.
No matter how disheartening the moment of accusation sounds, how deep the pain of immobilization stabs, or how bleak your future looks, no one can take away your license to live. Keep Dr. Jarrett's expertise handy and unlock your future. Go to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or another podcast player and subscribe right now to Licensed to Live. See you next time.